Hi there YouTube, it's me Tifo Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the second of this month's Korean toy reviews. Right, today I've got another figure from the Metal Cardbot S toy line, and today it is Sky Gallup. And without further ado, let's get on with it. So first of all, let's have a look at the box. So here's a picture of the here's the box. You've got the name across the bottom. Now, I just noticed before I started this video, because I've been referring to it as Gallup with an O, but I'm looking on the metal card, it's got an U instead of an O, so it says Gallup instead of Gallop. So, I don't know whether that's me making a mistake. Anyway, I've just had to hastily correct the thumbnail to put the correct spelling on, but never mind. Anyway, so here's the box. Picture of Gallup, Sky Gallup in alt mode and robot mode, and then you've got Jun, the main protagonist kid there. More pictures on the side, pictures on the back showing off the card weapon, and yeah, product information at the bottom, stuff on the top. So typical box. It comes with a set of instructions which are in black and white with coloured bits to show which parts should be moved during the transformation steps. Though the transformation's pretty intuitive on this, as it is with most Korean toys. And then you get the metal card, where you can actually see Gallup instead of Gallop. Now, as it's a Metal Cardbot S or a Season 2 Metal Cardbot, it has a fairly substantial metal card weapon or device, but we'll get to that a bit later. Right, so let's start with the alt mode, and very impressive alt mode it is, because it's a jet airliner. So here's Gallup in jetliner. Now this character is another one of those characters from the Metal Cardbot S toy line where if you listen to the voice of the character in the show, it sounds like a female voice. And like CeeLo earlier in the show, Sky Gallup, I think is a fembot, personally, judging by the voice. I don't know who the voice actor is. I assume it's a female doing the voice actor. I'm sure I'm getting this all wrong, because as with CeeLo, same sort of like gender ambiguity with this character like they had with CeeLo, whereas it's difficult to tell what gender it is, even though the showrunners say, no, Metal Carbots have no gender, they're all male, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, to me it sounds like a fembot, it sounds like a female, so I'm going to refer to it as a she and a her, so I'm calling this a fembot. Anyway, that's just my opinion. But anyway, here is Sky Gallup in her alt mode, and it's a really cool looking civilian jet airliner. It's got the eyes in the front. It's got turbo fans on the wings so that it can hover. It can act as a VTOL. Doesn't actually have any sort of jet engines facing backwards, but it still flies around like a regular plane. It's got a high tail wing. Also in the show, it has a cargo ramp that comes down off the back, and some of the other Carbots go inside. And another thing about this character, Sky Gallup is massive, absolutely enormous. But then again, it transforms into a jet airliner, which is a very large vehicle. But the toy itself, compared to some of the other Metal Cardbot figures, is not that big and not that expensive to buy either. I was expecting this thing to be a lot bigger than it actually is, but it is what it is. So anyway, it does have landing gear. It's got some very small wheels which are pinned, and they do roll. The front landing gear does fold up. Yeah, not much more you can say about the jet mode. It's a pretty cool looking plane with a good wingspan, and it's pretty cool. Now it got me thinking. I've got some other transforming jet airliners in my collection, so I thought I'd get them out for the sake of comparisons. So starting off with the jet airliner from Season 1 of Metal Carbots, Fleeter Z. So here they are together. Now they do appear on screen together in the final sort of episodes of Season 2, where Jun recovers the original metal brace, and he brings all the original season 1 Carbots out to fight Flame Nova at the end of the show. And you do see Fleeta Z sort of dives in to save Rock Crush falling to his death after he falls off the side of the ship they're fighting on. But Fleeta Z's jet mode, as you can see, it's a very sort of toony, comical looking jet airliner. In the show, his jet airliner does look a little bit more realistic, but the toy, unfortunately, in order to make the toy work, they had to do some compromises, and he looks a little bit sort of stunted and sort of like very super deformed, rather than a sleek looking, almost realistic looking jet that Sky Gallup's got. So that's Fleeta Z. Then we've got, from the Tobot toy line, we've got Airhide from Tobot V, or Tobot Victory Airhide, and he transforms into a Boeing 747 lookalike. Again, decent wingspan, 4-engine jet. Sky Gallup is bigger, but he's a pretty cool figure. He does have an unusual quirk with his transformation, in that his and Fleeta Z has this problem as well, whereby the arms are attached to the wings, and the wings fold down to form a backpack, and then his shoulders aren't attached to the fuselage, they're attached to the wings, which is rather unusual. But so the backpack doesn't clip in very well in robot mode, but he's a pretty cool figure otherwise. So there's Tobot Victory, or Tobot V Airhide. Then I've also got the mini Airhide as well, the Tobot V Mini. So there we go. There's a size comparison between those two. This is just a mini version of the big one. So there we go. And we've got this fella, Dark of the Moon Deluxe Air Raid, who's a 737 AWACS. I don't think they made turned a 737 into an AWACS, but there we go. That's what he transforms into, and obviously they aren't properly scaled. I mean, I suppose if we was to scale them up, it'd probably be like that, I suppose, if they were scaled up. But yeah, so he's only like a deluxe figure, so he's kind of small. And then finally, I've got a third-party offering. I've got Unique Toys Y01 fuel fuel supply provider, or their masterpiece Octane, and again a big 4-engined jet airliner, which is slightly more realistic in jet mode. But so that's my fleet of transforming jet airliners that I've got. So anyway, so that's that out of the way. So we've done that. So I keep having to get the right name. I keep thinking of the other names. Sky Gallup. Sky Gallup, yeah, pretty cool looking jet. Black and white with some red striping, some little gold trims. Underneath, it's got a little bit of, like, you've got the chest of the robot mode and the waist, but it's not too bad underneath. It's not like other jet formers, which is like, you know, sort of like a plane on top and a scrunched up robot underneath. It's a pretty successful, fairly convincing looking jet airliner. Anyway, so there we go. Transformation on this thing is pretty good, pretty intuitive, and obviously to start off with, you get the tail section, and then you bring it down to break that. Then you have to split what will be the legs, and the tail section. Whoop, the tail section comes out, and that will become a weapon. So there's a little bit of parts forming. So then the legs, they straighten out, and then you bring down the feet. Then you have to flip them round, and then these tail pieces they come down, and then there's a tab just here, and then that comes round and that clips into place on the side there, and it does it here again. It falls round and clips into place, and then that's the legs done. The wings, fold them round 180 degrees and then angle them backwards. Then you come to the nose of the aircraft, top of the cockpit, bring it back, and then fold this piece up, and that's the backpack done. Then the arms, split the arms, twist them round at the shoulder 180 degrees, and then fold down the arms. And then finally flip open the chest, fold out the head, fold the chest back, and you're done. And there is Sky Gallup in her robot mode. And now have a good look at this robot mode and tell me, I think this robot mode bears a striking resemblance to a Gundam or a Gunpla. It looks just like a Gundam. I think so. Very sort of like Japanese robot styling on it. Very cool looking thing. Awesome looking thing. A lot of cool painted detail on the robot mode. You got the white, you got the black, and then you got the gold and some little bits of red, and some very small bits of green. Pretty cool looking figure. Bring it round, fairly clean bot. I mean, obviously the wing pack is a bit large. It can fold back to reduce the frontal profile of the figure. And that's that. So it's a pretty cool looking bot. So quick size comparison. Get him down. There's Sky Gallup next to Combiner Wars Megatron, who's my sort of main sort of size comparator bot, being a full size leader class bot. Like I said, in the show, this figure is, or this character is a lot bigger than the other characters in the show. So it's a shame that they made her so small, and I wish they'd have, I wish they'd have made her a bit bigger. But whatever, it is what it is. I mean, the alt mode would have been enormous had they made this any bigger. I mean, the alt mode's big enough as it is without making the robot any bigger. But anyway, so there we go. Now, articulation on this thing is pretty good. You've got head rotation. It sort of goes all around. It's got a little bit of up and down. Shoulders, soft ratchet, go all the way round. The arms go up. Bicep swivel. Elbow bend that goes slightly over 90. Nothing at the waist, unfortunately, due to the way this thing transforms. Oh, I forgot to fold those bits down for the transformation. That's it, those bits. Now the hips are a little bit restricted mainly because of these wheel pieces that are attached to the they don't fold away anywhere, so they go forwards and they don't go back because of this piece here. So they're a little bit limited that way. In and out. Thigh swivel. Now this thing does technically have two knee joints. It's got one there and then another one there, so it's got like almost like a double jointed knee. So there we go. Like I said, a little bit restricted on the legs, unfortunately, but still a cool looking bot. that's about as much as I can say about the robot mode, apart from one more thing, the card weapon. Now this is another thing that's unusual about this bot. Oh yeah, before we get into that, obviously the weapon, the tail from the plane folds out and forms a bow, like a bow and arrow. Now it has got a handle that's slotted, but it's only slotted on one side, and it's designed to go in the right hand, so it will slot into the character's right hand like so, and the character can wield it. It won't go in the left hand because there is a peg in there for the slot, but because the slot in the handle is only gone one side, it'll only go in one hand. It won't go in the other hand, unfortunately. So you can only do, you can only do right-handed poses with the bow on there. Right, so that's that done. So card weapon. There's the card. Take it off, and you got this big chunky block here. So what you do is you flip it over, or you fold this out, then you take these bits and then fold them down and bring that out. So you unhook, fold that out, bring that down, and then you've got that. The arse end of a horse. Because in the back you've got two pegs and you've got two ports, and it plugs together, and then Sky Gallup becomes a centaur. So that's where the name Sky Gallup comes from, because it's got 4 legs. Now you are supposed to reconfigure these front legs. You're supposed to fold the feet up, and then I think you're supposed to I don't know. I think you're supposed to do something with the front legs anyway. Or maybe you're supposed to fold them around. I don't know. Anyway, so there we go. So yeah, it turns into a centaur, and there's one of those Age of the Primes. Prime 13 Primes characters that's got a centaur mode. This one's got one too. Pretty cool gimmick. The legs on the back, they fold in and out, and they go backwards and forwards. So they're limited in their sort of motion. The front legs, like I said, it's got the extra knee joints, which don't really do much. It's kind of awkward to get it into some really cool looking sort of horsey poses because of the way the legs are. Again, it can hold the bow. Come on. Can hold the bow, and because it's a centaur with a bow and arrow, I'm saying that Sky Gallup's star sign is Sagittarius, like me. I'm a Sagittarius, so there we go. Aesthetically, this thing looks amazing. The robot mode, I'm just getting massive, Gundam, Gunpla vibes from it. Obviously, the fact that it turns into a centaur with the card weapon is interesting and unusual, pretty cool. Slightly limited in articulation in a few areas. No waist joint, and the hips are a bit limited because of the kibble on there. But apart from that, it's a pretty cool figure, and fairly large. Even though I personally think it could have done with being a bit bigger, because in the show, Sky Gallup is a very large figure when you compared to the other characters. So yeah, there's that. So that's been my review of Metal Cardbot S Sky Gallup. It's very interesting figure. I mean, I suppose you could if you wanted to bring the wings up, so it's a flying centaur with a like a hover pack. But there we go. And that is that. So that's been all my Korean toy reviews for this month. You will be getting another Korean toy review next week, because obviously my missing parcel from March turned up, and so I finally got my my other character that I was supposed to get last month but didn't because the package went missing. That has arrived, and that review will be going out next week, which is going to be Thursday, Friday. It's going to be May the 3rd. Hang on. Yeah, it's going to be Saturday, May the 3rd that my next Korean toy review is going up. So look forward to that if you will. With that said, I've been TFR Wilderness. Hope you enjoyed this review, and I will catch you all next time. Ta-da.